One new report says Tesla CEO and tech giant Elon Musk, who will now head up President-elect Trump's new Department of Government Efficiency, met this week with Iran's ambassador to the United Nations. According to the New York Times, two Iranian officials called the discussions, quote, positive. The talks apparently included ways to ease tension between the U.S. and Tehran. An official with the Trump team both refused to comment to the paper and declined to say whether the private meeting took place. And joining us now to talk about this and more is Crown Prince of Iran, Reza Pahlavi. His father was the last Shah of Iran, and his family has been in exile since the Iranian Revolution. He joins us now in the studio. Your Highness, it's a pleasure to be with you today.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm delighted to speak for the first time to the Catholic audience.
Well, we are so grateful. I first want to get your thoughts on this reported meeting between Elon Musk and the Iranian ambassador. What do you think this signals?
Well, first of all, I'm not aware of what the substance of the discussion was. And of course, in the world of politics and diplomacy, communication is a tool that is often necessary if we want to see it leading to anywhere. In general, what I've been saying is that this regime in 4 decades has proven to be unreliable, dubious, untrustworthy, and I don't think it is ever possible to come to any deal with it. And the reason I'm saying this is because you're not dealing with a strategic regime that thinks in terms of, conventional concern of national interest or security. It is an ideological, radical regime that wants to export its ideology while repressive its own people at home and trying to change the world the way they want to see it abroad. So it's inherently antagonistic to nations that are founded on principles of equality, human rights, liberty, which is the complete opposite. And I don't think that if there's any additional reading to whether or not this is an attempt to try to come to terms with them, I doubt this will happen, and this because of the nature of the regime itself. So I don't want to over-speculate not knowing what was discussed.
Yeah. How do you think the incoming Trump administration should deal with Iran?
Well, President Trump was perhaps the only president since the Iranian Revolution who had the toughest stance vis-à-vis the regime in terms of implementing maximum pressure. And that, I think, is an important component when it comes to curtailing the regime's ability to be, in a negative way, impactful in terms of, again, repressing its own citizens at home or fomenting instability or funding proxies in its conflict in the region and beyond. I believe that President Trump would probably continue that approach because he understands that it is through strength that you can achieve something, and the regime, in fact, has always backed out when it saw it faced, actual, in the old adage of peace through strength reaction. But is it sufficient for those of us who say, listen, the fundamental root of the problem is the regime itself. And as long as this regime is still in power in Iran, none of the problems we are facing today is going to dissipate. I would hope that President Trump in his second term will not focus only on one aspect, which is important, which is the maximum pressure, but also parallel to that, incorporate a policy of maximum support. Because this is something that can equal the playing field for Iranians who until now, defenseless and completely unarmed, has faced a regime that has been extremely repressive and brutal. And we need to give them a better chance of success. And I think there has to be one aspect of more direct support to the Iranian people.
Before we wrap up our conversation, do you have any messages for our audience?
Well, I think when we believe that a lot of what inspires people around the world to have compassion, to care, to understand what suffering happens when there's injustice, when there is repression. It behooves any human being to take action, not to be silent. How they choose to do it, by action, by prayer, by help. There are so many ways. But it's the idea of feeling connected. And what I would like to say is that, I say in my talk to my fellow citizens, I want to move the needle from hope to belief. That we should go beyond hoping for a better world, but believe that we can actually get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are praying for them for sure. Thank you so much, Your Highness, for coming on this show today.
Thank you for
we
having me.
appreciate it. God bless you.
Thanks.